thank you for taking time to showcase what I think is a Springfield icon, a legend, pillar of the community, and that is your family business, Crosstown Barbecue. So thank you for everything you guys do.
Thank you for having me here.
First, just tell us a little bit about you, about yourself, and about your family and your history.
Wow. Well, I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri. Graduated from Purcell High there. I'm a pirate. Came down here in Springfield after I graduated in 1980. Go to Drury College at the time.
I saw that. So you got a teacher, you have a teacher degree.
Well, what of them? My first degree is in business.
Okay.
From Drury. And then I started taking over the business like 2 days after graduation. And you know, the one thing I think my dad, because he came here in like 69, 70, and right off the
which wasn't, the 70s wasn't the best time to start a business, really.
No, and then too, it was coming out the civil rights scenario, and you know, country was kind of like, you know, between blacks and white, it was just kind of like shifty, you know, but he came here, just changed things, you know. My dad was just a awesome guy, man. He you know, he loved people, and you know, because the restaurant here with the Pasco was mostly made for kind of black people would come here a lot, you know what I mean? That's kind of their place. But my dad just kind of opened it up for everybody, you know, and that's the reason why I'm kind of doing the event that we're doing, because it's like I feel like I'm God is calling me to finish what my father started, you know, and then be able to break down those barriers.
Like a godly man, just the love that he expressed to people. So he's quoted in the paper as saying, "Strangers are not allowed here."
That's right, and that's
expound on that. So it's that everyone that comes in is a friend.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the way we want to make you feel when you come into our restaurant, because that's a lost art nowadays, you know, service and smiles and relationships. Because my dad told me the most important thing about business is building relationships, because people like to do business with people they like.
Right.
And so if they like you, then they'll come in, and then it's just a bonus that the food is good or great.
Right.
And so he established a lot of relationships, and he broke down a lot of barriers that were up, you know what I mean, to the point where people would come over here and eat some barbecue, you know, black and white, all people would come over here and eat barbecue. And that's the thing that was so awesome about this place is, like I said, it just kind of broke down. It was kind of like the melting pot, you know, that my dad just started, and he just loved everybody, and everybody loved him, and they respected him too.
And do you feel a little bit of an inspiration or a burden for carrying on such a great legacy?
You know, I don't feel it's a burden at all. I mean, I feel it's a calling, and something because I love it.
I love that. So I'm going to take a side note. We're going to ask some funny questions, some quick fire questions. Okay?
All right, no problem.
So what is your favorite non-barbecue food?
I would have to say seafood. I love crabs and shrimp. Man, I eat shrimp all the time, crabs.
Do you have any hidden talents that most people don't know about?
You know, I actually love to play an old game that I still play to this day, that I started playing when I was a kid, called electric football. I don't know if you remember anything like that.
No.
It's a little board that vibrates, and you get the little players run out and whatever. I've been to national tournaments. I've won tournaments in electric football.
In national tournaments for this, I think I've seen these.
Yes.
The board that rattles and the player.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
So I know that you manage your fire. Do you ever send barbecue smoke signals to your neighbors?
Oh, definitely. Man, barbecue signals is the smoke that's part of advertising. You know what I mean? You haven't seen those cartoons where the smoke just does this, just this, and next thing you know, it just goes.
So the rumor is that you've had the police come because your neighbors once thought the smoke coming out of the building meant your building was on fire.
Yes, definitely. Exactly. That is so true. Cars would be passing by And the smoke is like, whoa, we can't even try to see, you know. They look like, oh man, they called the fire department on us. And the fire department comes and it's like, well, where's the fire at? And we're like, hey, we're good. I mean, you know, so that's kind of, that is a true story. That's happened numerous of times.
That's funny. So you started your parents took it over in '69. Has a lot changed in 50 years in the community?
Yes. Yes. The community has changed a lot. You know, it's just things are different. People have seem to be different values to me, you know, different. It's like people want the same thing, but it's like going about how to get those things are a little different now, I would think, because of everybody wants it quick. And what I've seen, even in our city, it's just what has changed. People don't talk to nobody anymore. I mean, you walk down the mall, you know, you can walk anywhere, people look up and you get eye contact, be like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
People are just got their heads down and they're just walking.
More so today, huh?
Yeah, more so today than anything. I think we've lost our sense of community. And that's the reason why, like I said, once
With
again, I do
unity on division. So
Yeah.
tell me about, which I like the phrase. I think it's a great phrase, unity on division.
Division starts with this street called Division.
Right.
Okay? And the history, I did my research, the history of this street in Springfield, Missouri, is this street was created because in the 1800s, Springfield, the city of Springfield, separated itself from itself. It had two different cities. And this street was a dividing line that separated the two cities. The square was downtown for the south, you know, or south Springfield, and Commercial Street was downtown for the north.
Wow.
And it's funny because this, you know, goes back to my dad when he came here. You know, I don't think there's a coincidence that he ended up being in a turnkey operation at this location on Division Street.
Yeah.
Okay. Which basically was on the north side of Division Street anyway, to be able to break down the barriers that basically separate north side and south side Springfield.
Right.
And guess what? What's our name? Crosstown BBQ.
Oh, I love it.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's why this event is so significant, because God had a plan to connect all the neighborhoods and to connect, you know, the people and connect the lead, you know, the spiritual leaders, which connect the people that follow the spiritual leaders. If you look at the history of the church, when they were Pentecost, when they came to the church and everything, and the Spirit of God rode in, and the church was like, you know, anybody that was a part of the church, they were like, people were selling the businesses and selling everything so they could just help people out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just believe that's where God really wants us to be. You know, you don't have to sell your home or whatever to do all that, but there's enough people in this country that got enough money to be able to help others. But we got this mentality like, well, hey, I earn my money, you got to earn yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and I think people want to give. I think that there's that heart to give, and not necessarily have it taken from you, right? As far as from the government,
Yes.
you know, we're asked to step in to be the charitable entity, right?
Yes.
When really the church does a much better job at charity when it does get involved.
Exactly, because it comes really with love. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know.
Well, I'm looking forward to another 50, if not 100 years across town. And and I thank you for what you do for the community and for the mission that you have, and for this Unity on Division.
Yes, just let people come and we just lift up Jesus. Oh, one other thing. When the city decided to bring itself back together, the mayor at the time proposed that this street be changed to Unification Street. Because once people see that there's no more Division Street, and they looked at this a Unity Street, that the visual barrier is broken down.
Yeah.
And I think once the visual barrier is broken down, then we can break down the division within our hearts that actually separates the city too, from north side, south side, east side, west side.
That's great. Again, thank you so much. Thanks for opening up your business to the community of Springfield. I think we're all very grateful that your parents chose to take a risk and come down here in 1969, and because we've been enjoying you, not only your food, but your impact on the hearts and the minds of the people in our community all of these decades. So thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it.